Mr. Michael, do you have any questions about these charges or their possible penalties that I could help you with today?
No, ma'am. Other than the two last ones you said are new. I didn't get those ones until today. But whatever. I mean, it don't mean anything. Just the other than new. I didn't understand that. But no, ma'am.
Mr. Michael, are you on any drugs today or alcohol?
No, ma'am.
After Mr. Michael's debut in Judge Webster's court yesterday, he was arrested, held in custody, and given a UA. Today, we are back with the UA results and to continue his arraignment. Can you guess what he tested positive for? Let's find out.
Good morning.
Good morning. We are ready to go on the record, Missy. We are on the record in the 13th Judicial District, the District Court of Greenwood County, Kansas. We come on for hearing in 2023 CR 80 and 2023 CR 96, both captioned State of Kansas versus Jacob William Michael. Ms. Jill Gillette, Greenwood County Attorney, appears for the state, and Mr. Jacob Michael appears in person in custody at the Greenwood County Jail in pro se. Mr. Michael, how are you doing this morning?
I'm doing all right. How about you?
Well, I'm okay. You're certainly looking a little better than you were yesterday. I
apologize for that. It was an hour, got tired and got comfortable on my bed watching you guys do for it and fell asleep.
Okay, I'll need you to speak up or get adjusted with the microphone. I did have trouble getting you into court, so I had you brought in for a number of reasons. First of all, because you failed to be able to appear in court consistently by Zoom, and because you couldn't seem to track very well. Also, it's contemptuous behavior to come to court under the influence of substance and the condition you were in. And thirdly, I was just worried for your physical and mental health. You just did not look or sound good at all. I was very concerned. And the officers had to go and try to wake you up. So in any event, you are feeling better today?
Oh, yeah.
I did have the officers give you a UA, and it was positive, I understand, for methamphetamines and amphetamines. So that's also a violation of your bond. You're not supposed to be having illegal substances, and meth is certainly illegal under any circumstance. Amphetamines can be.
Yes, ma'am. I actually have treatment today at 3 o'clock for it.
You have what, sir?
I have treatment today at 3 o'clock actually for it.
Very good. What kind of treatment is that?
Outpatient in Emporia, the corner.
So you've already done an evaluation.
Yeah.
Will this be your first appointment?
No. Since me and my wife got in that fight, I haven't been able to make it the last 2 weeks. So I don't have a license, but I told my mom yesterday, I can't miss this one. I gotta meet with my counselor at 3 to 4.
Okay, I'm thinking they usually kick you out of the program.
Yeah. So this will be my discharge if I don't make it.
All right. Well, let's take up the business at hand. I wasn't sure you'd even remember being in court yesterday. Do you remember?
Yeah. I said I nodded it off. I wasn't necessarily under the influence. Maybe I just woke up. You know what I mean?
I think it would be to your advantage to go back and look at yourself on the video from court.
I understand. I just woke up. I understand. I'm not a morning.
I've seen a lot of sleepy people, but I don't think that was just exhaustion. You better go back and look at that. You'll be, I think, quite surprised. All right. We've gone over your rights and charges. I want to do that real quickly again now that you're coherent. In count one of 2023 CR 80, you are charged with domestic battery on April 22nd, 23 in Greenwood County, unlawfully and intentionally causing physical contact with a family or household member, to wit, Aubrey Maxwell, in a rude, insulting, or angry manner. A B, person misdemeanor. If convicted, you can serve anywhere from 48 hours to 6 months in jail and pay a fine of $200 to $1,000, or in lieu of that mandatory 48 hours, you can be ordered to complete a certified domestic violence offender evaluation and follow that evaluation's recommendations. In count 2, you're accused of disorderly conduct, that is unlawfully and intentionally using fighting words or engage in noisy conduct, tending reasonably to arouse alarm, anger, or resentment in another person. Again, Aubrey Maxwell. This is a Class C non-person misdemeanor. If convicted, you could serve another 30 days and pay another $500 fine. Then you have count 3 in that case, which is criminally damaging by, other than fire explosive. You either damaged, destroyed, defaced, or substantially impaired the use of a cell phone belonging to Aubrey Maxwell with a value less than $1,000. This charge is a B non-person misdemeanor. If convicted, you could serve another 6 months and pay another $1,000 fine, as well as any restitution. Do you have any questions so far about what I've gone over on that case?
The cell phone thing, I don't really understand. Like, I got picked up that night and it was at my house and I went home and it was just still there. And then they came and got it the next day.
All right, well, you can talk to an attorney about that.
That's fine. Yeah, I didn't understand that one.
Okay, so you don't understand why you were charged, but you understand you were charged with it?
Yeah.
Okay. Now then, you also have case number 2023 CR 96. And that first case allegedly happened April 22nd of this year. And now in the new case, the 96 case, they are alleging that on or about April 29th, 2023 in Greenwood County, that you unlawfully and knowingly violated a protective order, which was a condition of your post-release supervision in the other case. In other words, in that first case, you were ordered not to have any contact with Aubrey Maxwell, and they're claiming that you did on April 29th. That violation would be a Class A person misdemeanor. You could, if convicted, serve up to a year in the county jail and pay a fine up to $2,500. So do you have any questions about that case, the second one?
No, ma'am.
Now, you do have the right to an attorney. Are you going to hire an attorney, apply for court appointed?
Probably file for court appointed.
Let's ask a few questions, see if you're eligible. Are you employed at this time?
Yeah. I've been on work comp because I broke my wrist at work since January 9th, but I got released to go back May 10th.
Did they prescribe you any medications for that?
When it happened, yeah.
But you're not on those?
No.
You've used those all up? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so you go back to work. You said you did go back to work May 9th?
No, I broke it January 9th, but they gave me my travelers and my insurance said that they got a hold of I work for CNG Drilling. They got a hold of CNG and they said they'd let me go back on May 10th, but they'll give me a date when. So I imagine it'll be this week.
Okay.
Matt already messaged me and said I can go back. I don't know.
Are you getting any kind of pay while you're off work?
Yeah.
Workers' comp?
Yep.
Okay, and how much do you get per month on that?
Like almost 2,000 a month, maybe.
Okay, and then you said you have how many children?
3.
You help support them?
My wife don't work. She's stay-at-home mom.
Okay. I'm going to appoint attorney Shannon Cooper to represent you. And I think the jailers will have a card.
Okay.
So you be sure and contact her on both these cases.
Okay.
And talk to her before your next court date. Missy, when will that be?
June 27th at 3:30.
June 27 at 3:30. You and Miss Cooper must be back here by Zoom.
Okay.
And make sure that you're in a better state.
Yes, ma'am.
than you were.
Yes, ma'am.
Because I think you would be quite surprised at the condition you were in.
Okay.
It was very painful to watch you in that state. And now we've got a bond issue, Ms. Gillette. His bond, he hasn't been following his bond real well as far as substances. I think he has a 5,001. I don't know that he has in both cases.
Well, he said he was released on bond on the original domestic battery case. And then he went to her home on April 29th, immediately after being released, because the case occurred April 22nd. So 7 days later, he was at her house and caught a violation of protective order. Instead of filing a third case on him, I amended the complaint in 23 CR 96 to include another violation where he was back over there on May 2nd, just 3 days after the first violation of the no contact order. So to me, this defendant is unable to follow the court's orders to not use substances, to not have contact with the victim, to not comply with the things that we ask him to comply with, and has frankly disregarded the court's orders and rules. With that being the case, I don't know really what kind of a bond to ask for him. Frankly, I've considered having an ankle monitor put on him so we know where he's at, and that he have a 300-foot radius from her home address so that we know when he's going over there. And I've also considered asking for bond supervision because he can't seem to stay off the substances, so that he is UA'd routinely by a court services officer. I don't know what else to do with him at this point, because not only do we have the substance abuse violations, but we have these contact violations as well. And I don't know if she encouraged that contact or didn't encourage that contact, because it obviously got turned into my sheriff's office. So at this point, I would ask for a modification of the bond to include GPS EMD monitoring with a 300-foot radius around the victim's home, substance abuse monitoring through court services. I frankly don't want to see Mr. Michael end up with drug charges because he continues to have drugs in his possession and use them. It's just going to compound the problems he already has.
Mr. Michael, anything else you want to say about your...
I got a GPS monitor right now on. And I have a radius I can't go around. And my wife didn't provoke it. You know, I've been with her 13 years and I got 3 children. So like I went up to my house to get some clothes and knocked on the door and she told me I can't be there. So I left. But I guess it's still like breaking my no contact order.
It
Not
is.
an excuse, but I mean, it's been really hard on my family and me.
Well, and I imagine that if this conduct that they're saying happened is legitimate, that was probably hard on them too.
Oh yeah.
Ms. Gillette reminded me, she did file amended information in 2023 CR 96. I forgot to advise you of count 2, which is another allegation that you violated the protection order again on May 2nd. So that's another Class A misdemeanor for which you do another year in jail and another $2,500 fine. So you already have an ankle monitor on. Unfortunately, we can get those that test for alcohol, but not for drugs.
Yeah.
And you still make me think you might still be having some effects of the drugs.
I'm not, man.
Nothing like you had yesterday, but some. But you've been in jail now less than 12 hours, I believe, but at least enough to sober up some. Okay, keep the bracelet on. Don't come within 300 feet of her home or wherever she might be. And I don't want you around the children right now until you get over this these issues you're having. I'm going to remind you, absolutely, positively, no alcohol, no amphetamines, no methamphetamines, no other illegal drugs. I know that probation is awfully busy and it's a burden on them to ask them to do bond supervisions, but you need bond supervision, very close supervision. I don't want to see you under the influence of drugs again. And I'm going to order that you attend your treatment today and every treatment session that you can get after that. And I want you to be honest at treatment today. And I think there's a good probability, if your treatment provider will do it, that the two of you can sit down. Rumor has it that some YouTube channel has a copy of that hearing. So you and your treatment provider can watch you.
Okay.
And I want you to do that. I want you to see what condition you're in. Because at the rate you're going, you very well could kill yourself with an overdose.
I understand.
At the rate you're going, you don't have any control of yourself when you're under the influence of these drugs. So I don't want you killing your wife, your children, your mother, your friends. This is stuff that those of us that have been around long enough have seen.
Okay.
Drug abuse is a very ugly, dangerous thing. But you be honest with that therapist.
I planned on it. He knows my life's kind of been a wreck right now. He knows my life's kind of been a wreck right now, but I'm going to be honest. But with that being said, like I said, like me and my lady, like we have gotten over that. I mean, we have no contact. We're not supposed to. When can I make contact?
Well, not yet.
Okay.
You've got a ways to go. You've got some healing to do for yourself. And then you're going to have to go through some therapy probably with her. But
Okay.
right now, you get a handle on that drug addiction.
Okay. Should I wait for my next court date or?
Missy, when did you say his next court date was? June 27th at 3:30? You're not going to see her before then. There are normal and probable consequences to our voluntary actions. Think about that.
I know that.
Right now, you're dealing with the actions. I wish I had some way other than I think a blood test, the only way I could do his nanogram count, see how deeply he's influenced, but there's no way, Ms. Gillette, is there, even with modern science? The UA is not going to tell me how much he's using, right?
There's a measuring cutoff in it, but this type of UA, if he did want to report services, it can be sent to the lab.
Well, I want his probation officer to try to do what they can, or his bond supervisor to do what they can to make sure he doesn't continue to use. Are you going to be living with your mom or living at your own home?
My wife's at my house.
Your wife's in the house?
At my house. I've been saying my mom.
All right.
Judge, with him having treatment today, are you going to reinstate his bond with the new bond conditions?
I will do that. I think that is the simplest. And while you were speaking, you reminded me that one of those initially had the bond through the city, and if he can get that transferred to district court, that's fine. You won't have to make a new bond, but talk to your bondsman about that, Mr. Mike.
It is, Judge. I have the copies of the bond.
Who's his bondsman?
His bondsman originally was
Okay.
Don Kirkman.
Yeah.
Don Kirkman. Don Kirkman needs to see that video of you too.
Okay. I talked to Hot Rod yesterday. I told Kelly what was happening, and I told her to call her this morning and let her know.
I would ask that he be released at 2 today so he can go straight to treatment and hopefully not use before he gets there so that he can talk with his counselor when he gets there.
I gotta be there at 3, so I mean, it'd be cool if I can get like an hour or more before that. I gotta have my mom. She works tonight, night shift, and I gotta make it work, but I'll make it work if I gotta go.
She's driving you to what, Emporium?
Yeah.
That would tell me you went? Okay.
Maybe
Whatever.
1:30, Judge. Maybe we could let him out at 1:30 so he has an hour and a half to get dressed and go up to Emporia, but not enough time to run around and use before he gets to treatment.
That'll be the order. Yeah, because I'm with Miss Gillette on that. I want you clean, as clean as you can be.
I understand. I mean, I wouldn't do it for regular treatment, obviously. I don't think that would work, but all right. I just hope it's enough time.
Well, if the jail thinks that I've cut it too short, they can let me know and we can work around it. But it shouldn't take you more than 15 minutes to change clothes, unless you want to shower or something. And then
We can get him out of here at 1:30 on the dot, Judge. That's no problem.
and will that get him to Emporia in time?
I don't see why it wouldn't.
Okay. You could always figure it on GPS too. But yeah, I don't want you having any extra time. You stay away from, I don't know who you're getting these drugs from, but you stay away from that person.
All right.
Now, I mean it. All right. You may go at this time, sir.
Hey.
You're welcome.